Hi everyone. Once again, I'm just to welcome you all of you to my official YouTube channel Path Ultima. Today the channel just going to give you a brief short about the latest Hollywood film Avatar: The Way of Water. This is a continued series of Avatar who released in 2009. So the official date of releasing for Avatar: The Way of Water 16th December in 2022, and it will release all over the world including Asian continent, Africa, Europe, America and everywhere. The total budget for the film that's done more than US dollar 237 million. And the company just behind for this one of the major company in the Hollywood film industry, 20th Century Fox. The direction hidden by the one and only James Cameron. And when you just look at the length of the movie, 3 hours and 12 minutes have the length for this one. Compared to the previous part released in Avatar 2009, this is much longer. That was 2 hours and 20 minutes. When you look at Avatar: The Way of Water, 3 hours and 12 minutes. And I still remember that before the promoting the film, the Avatar: Way of Water, some interview just asking questions to James Cameron, how you just be handle this one without an interval should be a 3 hour and 20 minutes. He said that if you want to enjoy the film, if you want to just clear to first it is and the part, you have to sit and watch it. It means that even you when you during the time you just watch it on the movie, maybe you just forgot your interval. That kind of experience we are going to give you. This is one of my remarkable and masterpiece product, he said that. So the cinematography done by Russell Carpenter, and he just speaking about him, and he has now have associated with James Cameron in several times. So this is one of its a sensational work, he said that. And he said that before starting is a lot of things the technology have to develop very well compared to 2009 and 2000, lot of technology and visual base be everywhere. So that was the essential part for him. And the epic science fiction film, the Avatar, speaking about the VFX quality is to much of sensational one. Because the VFX is a main thread for this film. When you just watch the film from A to Z, from beginning to end, completely just a very picturized one. And I'm just recommending each one of you better you have to watch it 3D or 2 IMAX one. That was a great experience for you. Definitely, it's not if you watch a normal way you cannot feel. If you just be watching in a 3D, you will think that I'm involving that the movie, because maybe you just be putting inside the movie like that. It means that should be a variety kind of experience you will got. And speaking now just about the storyline about the film, as this is a continuous part of Avatar. It's released in 2009. The Jack Stell is the main character of the film. He was a former human who fell in love with the Nayatri and befriended the Navy after becoming a member of him. Avatar program eventually taken to the other side, and they're conflicted with the human and leading into the victory. That was we just do the story like that. And the continuous of the second part, the main villain of the bad, that's the Sky People later when he returned back to that earth, because the humans they already completely using everything, because our wants always be unlimited but our resources are very limited, right? So they just want to be settled in another planet. So they find out that's a optimum, the special optimum find out that once the Sky People, the human they just reach that, they will know that there is peoples who the avatars who just living there. This is the place for them. So the people human they just want to build and build a big things in that area. So what our about thing, what we just saw in the history of the same thing, that belongs to their place. Once you just as a human being, you have idea, you have the technology, you have the machines, you are everything. You could not trespassing another person's place. What the same thing happened the storylines, because they just find out in a plant, they just make a study and well research about this one, and finally they just find out one place there is a optimal things in available there. But from their people, the avatar, the spatial, different kind of species who are living there together, family and around everything, they have their entities. So they have to protect their people. So that was the mainstream for the Abed fights against between the human, the sky people versus another, the avatars, the species. The main then he just that Jack Sully is an A3 have formed a family and doing everything to stay together. However, they must leave their home to and explore regions on Pandora. When the exciting the reference, Jack flies and a difficult fight against the humans. So that man, that's the main character we love for. So one, he the Unijuslo, the person who saw the first part of Avatar series, he had just to return back to the same species, and he have unbusiness revenge with Jack Stalin and his wife. So this time he came with the more friends and more just come colleagues with it to explore and destroy that avatar place, because there is no technology, because the last time they just do the different, and last time they just create those kind of machines, no kind of budget, but it's not enough to destroy the spacious units of Avatar. That is not enough just to make their flag on them. That is not enough to just complete a domination against them. So they have to start in the making. After a long time they just start to study and will research, and how they once they just be reached, they have to have well preparation for that. But they have their own unit about one, they just have the discussion going with what are the machines we have to do in this one. So how will this going to attack him, how they just going to destroy him, everything just be how to remarkable. So in the second series of Avatar, The Way of Water, the man who just done main character, when he does best bet and he out make changes in his character and his species, now he becomes like normal, just not a normal human being, just tend to be again Avatar. So he know that if you want to fight against the talented Jake Sagal, if you want to just find its wife, that's the normal human being. What are the strength? It's not enough. He had to the extracular some strength is be required for to fight against them. So with its friends, 4 or 5 person together, just make like that. So first they together they just reach that place. The place where the last time, the first part, the last time, they just be fall to failure to succeed to fight against the Avatar peoples, Avatar species. But the fact is now when they just saw that the victims play things around us, that the machines and the just one kind of vehicle had for them. So all look around, they still remember that the place where they just failure. That's a unforgettable day for them all, because they just completely lose. So he look around all of them. Once they just looking from that, at the moment of the time behind the scene, what happened that the Jack Cycle's son, he have 2 sons and 2 daughters, and it's monkey one span. That is a son of this guy, but unfortunately that both are different species. It's not be similar. But he just still a human being, same like the age of Kiri, but he's still wearing that's a face mask, because the humans is could not be breathable at that. But so they have just have a breathing problem for the human being. So they have to face the cover. So they just noticing everything. So the one of the sister just tried to stop his brother not come too close to Veritam, because they are more dangerous. We have to inform our father very as soon as possible, because the elder son say that I'm not going to cross it, I'm just watch out in the but just they do it. Definitely we know they just coming from human, but the person he saw him that was very tall, and same like they just about the spacing. So we have to clarify everything. So he will just step back to then and just closing watch everything. So once they just watch one, and then suddenly they just, the technical, they just called to the Jack Sagal's father, and father said that you have to leave from that place without making any sound. Even the sound they may just taking that no. So just little bit just came to discover, come to backward to escape from them. But suddenly what happened? Unfortunately, they just caught it by them. They caught it and they just caught it each one of them, because he tried to they try to protect their using the knife, try to attack to him because they're small kids. But it's that is not enough to attack this kind of heel character, and that's why they just very familiar in the weapons, very athletic, so and no mercy, no sympathy. But they just came for and a big revenge, the unfinished revenge business. So they needed Jack Sagal and his family to destroy. So what they just came for first day, they just point out to getting the members and each member for Jack's family. And at that time, you find out that guy wearing the mask, and he doesn't know about was his son. And he asked into and the son was replaced about this one. He not my father. If your father at the time, he will take to me there somewhere else. I'm staying with them. So they tried to save them, but finally Jax and everyone just came to protect them. So Jax know that they came for revenge. So what he done, he to protect his family, to save all members from heavily, he moved from forest to waterfalls. Yeah, he stayed with as a leader from that lead group thing, but he could not be just have like similar. But last time they have the father-in-law who's the leader, and he has creating evidence everything. Compared to that one, is could not enough to make a revenge and far against them. So what they just done, he just talked with his family members, and without they definitely their the family members, all of them just want to be stay there, but unfortunately to for their that sustain their breath, to just to remain to rest, live the rest of the life around anymore. They couldn't. It's not the right place. This is not secure for them. So they just moved to forest to water the oceans. So that's a storyline changes from once they just reach in the ocean center. So people, the persons who living from ocean center, they also the spacious, but they just mostly spending the time with the water, the water animals and everything. Once they reach, you know how they just treated, they just like strangers. The strangers like they just imitate him, try to misbehave to and respectable, and they're just looking the not the right way, they're just looking, and they're just touching some of the parts of body. And even so the final the leader, the main leader of the waterfalls area just come to forward. Why you came from, you just your athlete, your body just all character, and each his wife clarify everything. That's Kane Vincent who done behind with it. He just clarifying each done from the top to bottom, just touching the top of the river, and your fingers is not enough to just swim here. And when you just look here backward, that's a long length. That speed, it's you require more than speed to travel from here on the water. Everything, that's all she said that, because showing its feedback about the negativity. But the fact was in that Jack said that we will learn because we just have the tendency for learning, and I'm just teaching my family members from there also. Even they just be like to be teaching everything. And the main leader at the moment of that, don't take your war to against here. We know you're just staying in the forest. I know your story and the past about you. You are the great warrior and you protect your peoples, and you're just or your rest of the unit from sky people from the navigation. But if you stay in still, that's problem for us. They will come to here and just destroy us. But he said that far it's enough. I'm just already completed from that. I'm just came for a peace. I just want to say, if I stay to for them, they just to start against the war. So finally, that leaders and his wife have discussion about that one. What is they just okay table here, or otherwise we have to take into the leave from here. They have to discussion going between the husband and wife. So once they just clear what they done, they're just okay, not refusing that too, because they just to request him very kindly, especially their four children, one of them, the very child one, how we had to refuse to them. So they will accept. So then after that, when they just stay together as a family and everything, so then they reunite and fight against none other sky people and succeed. So that was a mini story thing about this film. So I think that's you will experience each one of you to watch this movie on direct to the any 3D or IMAX. That should be a major thing for to because that kind of creativity have the James Cameron, and I think its entire dedication and hard work and visionaries will give it to the second part, and hopefully we are waiting for the third part in 2024. So I thank each one of you, dear patience, for listening my words, and thank you and a safe and thank you so much.